Okay, so if you're usually a blues player, today we're going to show you maybe your first ever classic country bend. I'm going to add that twang to your thing. I'll show you how to approach the unique technique to this special type of bend so it actually simulates that pedal steel sound. We'll look at the spots where you can easily find this bend living inside of the major pentatonic box you already know. And then we'll jam over a backing track, move it with some changes. It all turns out to be kind of a piece of cake. You'll like it. Oh, hey guitar friend, how we doing? My name's Tim Fagan. I write songs and I play guitar for a living. I'm based in Nashville and we're gonna do some stuff today. Grab your guitar, join me on this guided guitar workout and check out the full Saturday live streams. Like and subscribe, you'll get notified when I go live. All right, let's do it. Okay, so we're right here. Let's play this a little bit. Let's just kind of kick the tires on this A major pentatonic. So we're gonna go down just like I will allow us to play straight on down the scale. Here we go. 1, 2, right on down A major pentatonic. Let's go. And again. One more time. Now let's go low to high starting on this A. All right. Now I want to do. How cool is that, right? Be ready for it. We can't always be stuck thinking linear. So we've got this linear pattern. Bing, bang, bing, bang, boo, bam. All of a sudden there's a lick that comes in. Boo, bam, right? That's that. Boo, ba, boo, ba, 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 ba. So we're interrupting that pattern. 1 and 2 and lick. Ba, 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 ba. And you can hear it. You can hear it in your head. You can hear it if we, moment of silence to hear the lick. You heard it. Let's play it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I love it. One more time. Do we got it? We got it, right? I got it, I ain't got it. So check this out. What we're doing with this bend is playing this same fretted note, but with a bend. It sounds so obvious, but what it gives us is this. Now the trick to this, I'll get in there and show you my hand grip here. This is gonna take some hand strength. This is gonna take all of these require like quite a bit of putting your tension where it needs to be and not having tension where it doesn't need to be. Meaning, if you're squeezing in all of the fingers, you're not going to have the flexibility or the strength to get where you need to go, and you're going to be pulling the other notes out of tune. So if I get too tense and try to make this pinky get involved, it'll start to bend, and I don't want it to bend. It can be wobbling and vibrato. Vibrato is different than bending. So this would be vibrato. At some point, if I start going too far, like you ever see one of those people on one of those slack lines, and they're like, wow, it's so good, they got their balance. But when you see someone losing their balance, and they start being like, oh my God, they're going to eat it. That's more like so that's not vibrato. I mean, sure, somebody could fight me on that. Don't. That's vibrato. Once it starts getting too far, like that's, if it hangs out there and it's not moving, that's just sharp, right? So if I'm trying to go for this bend and I'm clenching my pinky, and it's feeling like it's feeling like a little bit more like a strangled goose, then it probably means that I'm aiming to bend somewhere and then I'm also bending somewhere else. I'm dragging along too much tension. So the game here is, let's imagine we're just bending this third string. I like to think of bending as getting a bunch of helpers to help in the weight room when someone's going for a bench press. They're all pressed together. They're not necessarily all pressing down with the same amount of force, but they're just kind of grouped together. Then these fingers can move as a unit, just a stack of hot dogs. If they're out like this, you have nowhere near the same power. You have nowhere near the same leverage, and that's when you end up seeing a lot of this, where it's just trying to push and pray, where it's like, oh God, fingers, why is bending so hard? It's because that's not actually what bending is. Like when I do that, I feel tension like in the middle of my hand, like in the tendons, versus when they're, boom, stack of hot dogs. Then it's like, then I have way more leverage that I could do way more. So I'm over bending there and I'm adding vibrato because then I can leverage this sort of pivot motion. So that hinge, pivot, sort of doorknob, whatever you want to think of, is larger muscles, and it's like using the weight and the strength of my arm and my wrist versus the fingers fending for themselves. So make the fingers work together, huddle up, pack of hot dogs. So that same amount of tension is there. And now when we need to break away and some of the members of the tribe need to go elsewhere, you need to try to keep as much of that feeling that you're sort of getting, that leverage, and that's where it becomes a bit of a literal handful. So this is something that is going to take time. I just want to make sure that as you do it, you don't think, well, this looks hard, so it must be just tension everywhere. If you're white knuckling it, if you're seeing the white of your fingernails, that means you've gone too far with trying to just gas it on all the fingers. Whereas the real big bend is happening here. But I got to somehow get the pinky to just sort of hang out there and just chill and kind of just rest the pad of the pinky there. And this is one where the pinky does pretty well just laying flat because it can grab these first two strings. And that sounds great. So I'm with my right hand, I'm just kind of, I'm putting the pick aside. You could also pick it, but I'm just doing, and you can hear when I'm out, it's out as far as when I go too flat or too sharp. So this is the underlying shape, right? See those dots lighting up? And what that's creating is just a real simple, like, and my intonation is always going to be a bit suspect on this guitar, but you get the shape of it, right? That's something you can practice. You can play it as this cluster of 3 notes, or we could even. So Zach, that is how you get more of the twang, more of the major sound, because we're in A major right now. It's not necessarily bluesy. We haven't introduced a single flat 7. It's a really nice kind of like bright and sort of like it's. And if you want to make it more pretty, we can get into some of the major scale, like bending the 3rd to the 4th, the 7 to the 1. But this one is just the scale degree is 1, 2, 3. So bending from 2 to 3 gets you from this. We're just doing this classic kind of hammer-on, that sort of Hendrix chime fill, as I call it, but we're doing it as a bend. Let's vamp on this a bit over an A type of thing, right? 1, 2, 3. I don't know, just sort of vamping back and forth between an A and a D. Oh, this is good. Okay, so check this out. Again, sorry, killing the vibe. It goes to A, right? That's where we've been. Now, the through line of this workout kind of is like, can you move it to another spot? So all of what I just said is true. Now can you move it to the exact same shape, but you're imagining D major? Because that's what you're going to need. So exact same action, all that stuff, whoop, whoop, but now D. So when we go to that boom, 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 you got to go, because why wouldn't that work? All you're playing is, those are chord tones. Those are just pieces of that triad. Haha, triads matter, haha, uh-oh. Very much a country twang kind of thing where you just move your pentatonic to the next chord change. Let's do it. It's all you, baby. Here we go. D. Back to A. And then it repeats. So A. A. Pretty good spot, and it's a pretty like ergonomic bend there, right? So I highly encourage you to mess with this bend, meaning like don't be too exact and repetitive about. I always go do that one, and then do the make it kind of like stop abruptly, like at the top of the bend, make it come down and real slow and drowsy and like kind of syrupy, like, and see if you can really make it sustain and kind of have a nice, like intentional kind of swooning sound. Guitar friend, I want you to build a skill that you get to keep forever, that you can take with you wherever you go, that is more valuable than shiny stuff and gadgets and gear. Playing guitar is a superpower to move people's emotions, starting with your own. Look, you love music and you know what it can do. I want to help you unlock the power to create your own unique sound on this amazing instrument. Start your free trial now. Your first 2 weeks are on me. Join our live workouts, courses, and community challenges. Because I want you to try everything. See if it's right for you and only pay and stay if you love it. I really think you will.